Mr. President, the average Social Security benefit today is just $14,000 a year. And as someone who will be the next ranking member of the Budget Committee, I intend to do everything I can, not only to oppose vigorously any efforts to cut Social Security, I'm going to do everything that I can to expand Social Security benefits.
So Joe Manchin has just proposed a new offer to President Biden and all Democrats. Manchin revealed a new crisis relief plan that would actually help millions of people across the nation. An extra $600.50 check, everybody, will be going out to all Americans that meet the eligibility requirements. So like I said, a fourth stimulus check is coming. And here's some good news. Stimulus checks are continuing to pay off for many people. Back in 2021, the American Rescue Plan Act provided a substantial amount of financial relief to people struggling due to impacts of the crisis. And now, according to the IRS, it is possible that stimulus payments are resulting in people getting higher refunds this year. As per the latest data from the IRS shows, the average refund issued so far this year. Not only that, folks, but know this. Last year, the American Rescue Plan offered stimulus checks of up to $1,400 to eligible people, pointing to people claiming unpaid stimulus funds. Many people have said that there's likely that it's the reason of higher average refund amounts this year. And recently, the IRS released tax return data, showing that it has processed more than 33 million returns. In addition to that, the average refund amount issued so far is around $3,536, compared to an average refund amount of $2,888 back in 2021. It implies that on average, people are getting $656 more in their tax return this year. A point to note is that $656 is an average amount, meaning many taxpayers would have gotten a smaller refund. For many, there would have been no change and some would have gotten a higher than average refund. Along with the stimulus check, the American Rescue Plan Act expanded the child tax credit from $2,000 to $3,600 for dependents below 6 years old and up to $3,000 for older children. Only a part of the original child tax credit was refundable. But with the expanded child tax credit, the full amount is refundable. And this is another reason why taxpayers are getting higher than normal tax refunds. Additionally, families or individuals who added a dependent last year may have also not claimed their stimulus payment last year. They are eligible to claim the money this year, and this is another likely reason why the average refund is so much larger. Now, during President Biden's State of the Union address, he touted the deficit reducing and inflation taming features of his various proposals. In the breaking news that Senate Democrat Manchin has quickly come together with a public offer of a package derived from Biden's Build Back Better Act. And he said that he might be able to accept it. Manchin said that if Democrats want to cut a deal on a party-line bill using a budget process to avoid a Republican filibuster, then they need to start with prescription savings and tax reform. Joe Manchin also envisions whatever revenue they can wring out that as a split evenly between the reducing of the federal deficit and inflation on the one hand and enacting new climate and social programs on the other. Manchin also said if you do that, the revenue-producing measures will be taxes and prescriptions, and the spending is going to be climate. Remember, Manchin's offer doesn't amount to much unless Kirsten Sinema makes a corresponding gesture indicating that she is also willing to sit down and negotiate on the bill. But as the crisis continues, it is important that Manchin and Sinema do not waste time playing games. Lawmakers in Congress need to get serious about passing another fourth stimulus package soon, or else millions of people will slip into poverty, and that's something we don't want to see happening. So folks, do you believe that President Biden is doing all that it takes to send out stimulus payments, or do you believe he is holding it back? Tell me in the comments down below.
The quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Well, Mr. President, let me start off with some great news. When we vote later today, all of us will be able to say these four wonderful words. Senator Lujan, welcome back. He's not on the floor right now, but Ben Ray, it was great to see you back here in the Capitol last week. It's great to see you today. We've missed you. We're thrilled to have you back on the job. We admire your strength and your courage and your fortitude, your quiet strength. Now, over the weekend, members from both House and Senate met virtually with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and we re-emphasized Congress's strong and unwavering commitment to providing robust and ample assistance to his country in this time of war. I told the Ukrainian president he was an inspiration to Americans, and I assured him that his pleas for help will not go unanswered. In particular, President Zelensky made a desperate plea for getting Eastern European countries to provide Russian-made planes to Ukraine. I strongly support the President's request, and yesterday I called on the administration to explore all feasible options to getting these fighter aircraft to Ukraine. These planes are very much needed. Ukrainian forces are familiar with them, and they will very much help in countering the Russians, especially as Putin massacres civilians in Ukraine. Democrats and Republicans broadly agree that this is a necessary step against Russia's illegal invasion. And today I reiterate my call for the administration to explore how to ensure the Ukrainians have the capabilities they need. I also spoke with the administration yesterday and was told they are looking closely at imposing a ban on oil. Meanwhile, there are other steps on Russian oil coming here. Meanwhile, there are other steps Congress can take in the coming days to support the Ukrainian people. Above all, we must finalize a more than $12 billion emergency aid package to be included in the upcoming omnibus spending bill. This emergency aid will provide both humanitarian and military assistance for Ukraine, funding for refugees, medical supplies, emergency food supplies, as well as funding to support weapon transfers into Ukraine and help our eastern flank NATO allies. The clearest signal Congress can send to Vladimir Putin this week is passing a bipartisan aid package, leaving no doubt that the democratic nations of the world stand with Ukraine and against Putin's deeply immoral and bloody war. And again, let me say it again, the quickest way to secure an emergency aid package for Ukraine is through the omnibus. And I believe both sides are close, very close, to arriving at an agreement. Now on COVID aid. At the same time, there's another important matter that Congress must address in the spending bill, additional COVID relief aid, which the administration has wisely urged Congress to approve. The federal government has completely exhausted all the public health funding approved last year as part of the American Rescue Plan. That means that to prepare for future variants, more federal funding is needed now. Across the country, thank God we've seen signs that the U.S. is turning the corner on COVID. Schools are open, mask guidelines are being reversed, vaccinations have surpassed 216 million Americans. And last Friday, we learned more than 7 million jobs have now been created since President Biden took office. This is all great news. Cases are falling, unemployment is falling, and the country is on the right track. But experience has taught us that new variants can come back with a vengeance if we aren't ready.